James Harper pulled into his driveway one quiet evening, his headlights catching a glint of metal in his front yard. A "For Sale" sign stood boldly on his lawn, like a taunt. His heart skipped a beat. He hadn't listed his house for sale. He owned this place outright, every brick and shingle paid for with years of hard work. Stepping closer, his eyes narrowed at the letters, HOA, printed in bold on the sign. His neighborhood had no homeowners association, never had. James ripped the sign from the ground, his pulse racing. This wasn't a prank. This was a threat. He dialed the number on the sign, pacing furiously. A slick voice answered. "Thank you for calling. How may I assist you?" James didn't waste time. "Why is there a sign in my yard?" "I own this house." The voice didn't flinch. "Sir, that property is under HOA jurisdiction for unpaid fees. It's being prepared for sale." James's grip tightened. "There's no HOA here. I own this house free and clear." A pause, then the voice turned cold. "Our records show outstanding dues. The sale will proceed. Contact our legal team if you wish." The line went dead. James stood frozen, staring at his house, his sanctuary. Rage boiled in his chest, but something darker crept in, fear. Someone was trying to steal his home. He wasn't about to let that happen. That night, sleep was impossible. James scoured the internet, piecing together a chilling truth. A group of scammers had been forging property liens, posing as fake HOAs to seize and sell homes across the country. They'd done it before. Dozens of families had fought grueling court battles to reclaim their properties. Some won. Others lost everything. The scammers didn't stop at paperwork. They intimidated their victims with fake fines, mysterious inspectors, and unmarked cars lurking outside homes at odd hours. James's stomach churned. This was no small-time con. It was a calculated, ruthless operation, and now they targeted him. By sunrise, James was on the phone with his lawyer, Sarah Bennett. She was a bulldog in the courtroom, sharp and unrelenting. "This is a scam," James said, his voice tight. "They're trying to sell my house." Sarah didn't sound surprised. "I checked. There's no HOA on your street. They're using forged documents. But if they filed fake liens, this could get messy. We'll need to fight this in court, hard." James clenched his jaw. "They've done this before, Sarah. I found cases. They target homes without HOAs, file fake liens, and flip the properties. If you fight back, they send goons to scare you." Sarah let out a low whistle. "Then we hit them harder. File an injunction to freeze the sale and push for criminal charges." "But James, these guys will try to intimidate you first." James smirked. "Let them try. If these scammers wanted a fight, they'd get one. He wasn't just going to roll over. He'd make them regret ever setting foot on his property." James didn't waste a second. He drove to the hardware store, loading up on supplies. By dusk, his house was a fortress. Electrified fencing lined the perimeter, not lethal, but enough to make trespassers wish they'd stayed home. Motion-activated floodlights could turn night into day. Hidden cameras recorded every angle. The final touch? Automated speakers that blared a warning at anyone who got too close. "You are trespassing on private property. Authorities have been alerted." His home wasn't just secure, it was a trap. At 2 a.m., his phone buzzed. The security system was screaming. Through the cameras, James saw a black SUV parked outside. Two men in cheap suits stepped out, clipboards in hand, strutting like they already owned the place. James watched, his heart pounding, but his resolve ironclad. One reached for the front gate. Zap! A sharp jolt sent the man stumbling back, cursing. His partner froze, eyes wide. Then the floodlights blazed on, bathing the yard in blinding light. The speakers roared. "Congratulations, you've attempted illegal entry. This is recorded. Police are on their way." The men panicked. One tripped, dropping his clipboard. The other sprinted for the SUV. Tires screeched as they fled. James stepped onto his porch, adrenaline surging. He picked up the dropped clipboard, expecting meaningless jargon. Instead, his blood ran cold. It wasn't just about his house. The clipboard held a hit list, names, addresses, and detailed notes on dozens of homes. Fake liens, projected profits, even names of bribed officials and real estate agents. This wasn't a scam. It was a criminal empire. James's hands shook with rage. These people weren't just stealing homes. They were destroying lives. By morning, James stormed into Sarah's office, slamming the clipboard on her desk. Her eyes darkened as she read. "This is bigger than we thought," she said. "They're done." James shook his head. "I don't want them done. I want them exposed." Sarah grinned. "Then let's make it a spectacle." What followed was a masterclass in justice. Sarah marched into the local precinct with the clipboard and a mountain of evidence. The police couldn't ignore it. Next, she tipped off the press. News outlets pounced on the story. "Fake HOA steals homes in multi-million-dollar scam." Headlines screamed of fraud, conspiracy, and corruption. Sarah filed a federal complaint, ensuring state investigators took over. The fake HOA's leaders, smug con artists who thought they were untouchable, were dragged into the spotlight. The fallout was swift. Arrests piled up. Lawsuits followed. Every stolen home was returned to its rightful owner. The scammers faced a laundry list of charges: fraud, forgery, wire fraud, and more. Evidence of bribed officials sparked a separate investigation, toppling corrupt clerks and agents. The judge didn't hold back, slamming the gavel with a sentence that ensured the scammers wouldn't see daylight for years. James didn't just win, he obliterated their operation. Weeks later, James sat on his porch, coffee in hand, watching his neighbors walk by. His electrified fence still stood, a silent warning. His home was his again, and his neighborhood was safe. Justice hadn't just been served, it had been a lightning strike. But here's where it gets controversial. Some say James went too far. Electrified fences? Automated traps? Was he a hero protecting his home, or did he cross a line into vigilantism? Others argue the scammers deserved worse. After all, they preyed on innocent families. What do you think? Should James have stuck to the courts, or was his electrified stand the only way to stop these criminals? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's spark a debate. Share your take on where the line is between justice and revenge. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bells so you don't miss our next wild story. Your voice matters, so let's hear it.